For a series that I was hearing was completely over. The 76ers were going to wrap it up in 5. The Hawks had absolutely no chance of winning another game. They weren't even going to come close because Philly, they'd brought out the big guns. They're just too good. The Hawks, oh yeah, they're nice and cute. But once Philadelphia start going aggressive Ben Simmons, all of these things, just stop it. Just stop it, because now the series is tied at 2 apiece. Do the 76ers have more talent? Yes. Are the Hawks missing their second best defender and someone who can give you 15 points on any given night plus space the floor? Yes. Is that embarrassing to then lose to a team without that kind of player? Yes. Did they just do it? Yes. So that's exactly what we just saw for a series that apparently was completely over after Game 3. Well, Atlanta come in and Trae Young absolutely shredded the 76ers. He ended up shooting 8 of 26. That doesn't do the full picture. That doesn't do anything justice, because he ends up with 18 assists to 2 turnovers. You want to talk about a point guard? Trae Young is well and truly becoming a point guard, because his playmaking ability has been unbelievable these playoffs. People have talked about his scoring because he's put up 30 points in multiple games, but even when he's not scoring well, he still can be the best player on the floor, and that was evidenced by tonight when he shot 8 of 26, had a bad scoring night, but was clearly the best player on the floor. It wasn't even close. Clearly the best player on the floor. He made every single pass you could ask for. Lobs, pick and roll, pocket passes, corner shooters, it doesn't matter. He makes every pass. He continues to do that throughout the playoffs, and he just put on a show. This is why Trae Young is not overrated. He never has been. And when his shooting isn't going well, he can give you 18 assists. We have to talk about that. Those are 18 assists, and to 2 turnovers, that is not normal. And that's why the Hawks ended up winning. They only ended up with 4 turnovers as a team, and that comes from Trae, because when he's handling the ball the whole time and he's only giving you 2 turnovers to 18 assists, well, it's really infectious, because, he holds the ball for most of the game, so no one else is asked to do too much from a playmaking perspective, and then the 76ers end up with 12 turnovers. It's a huge difference, and the Hawks getting a win, it's just good to see. Whether they win this series or not, I don't know yet. They're still in with a chance, obviously. It's 2 apiece. Embiid looks really bad right now. We're not wishing the worst on him because he is injured, but he looks bad. That's just a fact right now. Embiid looks injured. He looks like he can't get any lift. He looks not confident in what he's doing. He just doesn't look the same player that he was just a few games ago. And I feared this for the 76ers, because I thought as the series progresses, as it goes on longer and he plays more minutes and he gets more reps and Capella wears him down, he's a big physical defender who's capable of wearing him down, he's just going to get more and more sore. Whether his injury gets worse, he's just going to get more and more sore, more and more fatigued, and it's going to be harder to deal with. And I think we've seen it over the last couple of games. Plus, Capella has done a much better job at defending him. He's not biting on those pump fakes anymore. He's just staying strong, staying in front of him, putting his hand up and getting in his face, but not biting. Big difference, and he's doing a good job. Plus, they sent some good double teams. John Collins on some weak side defense. It was really good defensively from the Hawks. I know people are going to talk about Embiid being injured, and he was, and he still is. But the Hawks played really good defense on him, and they've improved that. So shout out to them, Nate McMillan, Collins, and Capella in particular. Now, before I actually go any further, if you could drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you know, make content like this every single day, and doing so just helps out a ton. I forget to say those kind of things when you're hyped up after a win, particularly a win in which everyone was saying the 76ers in 5. Oh, call it up, it's over, Adam Silver, get us on to the next rounds. I was just hearing people say, oh, who are the 76ers playing in the third round, should I say? Can they beat the Nets or the Bucks? There was absolutely no talk about the Hawks. All of a sudden, this series at 2 apiece with Embiid kind of looking pretty bad, you give the Hawks a genuine chance, particularly if Trae Young can actually get his shooting going. Imagine if he gets his shooting going and he continues to do this. He's literally unstoppable. Bogdanovic shot 4 of 13 and missed a ton of shots that you would expect him to make, and he has made consistently. He ends up with 22 points and a good game. Don't get me wrong, he made some big buckets at the right times, and sometimes just looking at the numbers and seeing 9 of 24 and you think, oh, that's an inefficient night. Then you have to factor in that he was taking a lot of shots when they needed someone to create. When Trae went to the bench or when Trae wasn't able to get a shot up, you need Bogdanovic as the only other guy who can really create off the dribble, and that's why he took so many shots. And he missed a few, but he's going to come back next game and shoot better than 4 of 13 from 3. As a whole, the Hawks have shot bad from 3 the last 3 games and a half, and they've still managed to scrape out a win. If they can actually fire up from three, which they're still capable of doing. 76ers are playing good defense, don't get me wrong, but like Atlanta are missing some very makeable shots. Trae could have made half a dozen threes. Bogdanovic definitely could have made half a dozen threes. Gallinari continues to throw up bricks. I mean, he's okay, but he's not worth the money. I'm not getting into that right now, but you get the point. He's throwing up some bricks. But in general, just seeing what Trae can do to a game, I mean, you have to put him in that conversation for right now. Top 10 player in the league. I don't really want to get into that, but I mean, the way he's played in these playoffs, if you've watched every single game like I have, and I'm sure like all of you Hawks fans have, I mean, he's been unbelievable in practically every game, influencing the game in one way or another. And it's unlike a lot of people who are maybe just scorers or maybe just playmakers. Trae does it all. Maybe he's not a great defender. He's not a great defender. He's like 6'0" and 100 pounds, so he's not a great defender against Harris and Simmons, but he's not getting absolutely exposed on that end. And then on the offensive end of the floor, he is just an engine. He can create offense for a team that has struggled from practically everyone else. This is a team that has no right to be beating the 76ers at this stage with DeAndre Hunter out. With Bogdanovic shooting 4 of 13 from 3, this team should not be beating the 76ers, but they did because Trae was feeding absolutely everyone. Also, shout out to John Collins because he sparked this comeback as well. With 3 dunks in the space of about 5 minutes, 2 of them were put back posters, and that sparked the comeback. I think they were down by about 7 points at the time, and it looked like every single time the Hawks got a shot back in the game, then Philly came back and answered, and it looked like one of those games. It looked like the Hawks were going to stay kind of close, but Philly were going to continue to answer, and Philly would just prevail. Collins was the one who really sparked this comeback, so he deserves a lot of credit, because defensively and offensively, also Ben Simmons, shout out for just absolutely smacking him, that helped as well. And in general, Collins ends up with 14 points, 12 rebounds. It felt like he had 25, honestly. The impact he had as a roller, and in terms of those momentum dunks, he ends up with 12 rebounds, which isn't particularly surprising, and I think more important than any of those other stats that I just mentioned, 5 of them were offensive rebounds. 5 offensive rebounds, 3 for Capella, 8 offensive rebounds between their 2 big guys, and that's huge compared to Philadelphia, who had 8 as a team. Again, this is how Atlanta were able to win, because they jacked up 15 more shots than the 76ers. They didn't turn the ball over, and they were active on the boards. That's how they were able to win. It was that simple. They didn't shoot the ball well. They did not shoot the ball well, and Trae Young was pretty much their only source of offense alongside Bogdanovic. Those two were the sources of offense, but you had the Capella and the Collins offensive rebounding, and then as a team, them staying connected and not turning the ball over, making the right decisions, not getting panicked, not getting hurried, even if they were chucking up misses. It's better than giving those turnovers, because what the 76ers have been able to do all series long is just harass the Hawks and harass the guys who can't handle the ball, or double team and try to trap Trae so it's forced into someone else's hands, or they just take it directly out of his hands with a steal. They've been able to get out in transition. Once you turn the ball over and Ben Simmons or Harris or one of those guys gets the ball and runs out in transition, that's easy buckets. So turnovers are crucial in this series. You're giving up pretty much easy points every single time you turn the ball over. So I think that was the biggest difference in this game. If the Hawks can actually find their rhythm from 3, then we've definitely got a series. But in the meantime, if they can continue to minimize these turnovers and play well defensively, which is what they did, they were doing well at double teaming Embiid. They were clogging up the paint for Simmons. He didn't really get any easy buckets. Harris is still a mismatch. They don't have their ideal matchup in Hunter on him. But if they can do a decent job at just getting the ball out of his hands, he only ends up with 20 points. You take that every day of the week. Seth Curry has been lights out all series long, and I thought he was going to hit a shot at the end. Before Trae got fouled, before any of that happened, I was like, Curry is going to hit some BS, because Seth Curry has been hitting BS all series long, and well, he was 7 of 11. He's been flaming all series long, but thankfully, he did not hit that shot, because I thought it was going in once it left his hands. I thought it was going in before he even touched the ball. I just had a feeling, but it didn't work out, so that's good. Also, Shake Milton looked like he was going to damn near turn the game on its head with him coming in again, and I was like, not again. not deja vu, but it wasn't deja vu because the Hawks win this game 2 apiece. It's anyone's series right now. It's anyone's series, and that's impressive for a Hawks team that are missing someone as crucial as DeAndre Hunter. Also, Reddish is pretty important with the kind of wings they're going up against. For them to tie the series, it's really a testament to Nate McMillan and mainly Trae Young. I mean, he's just been unreal. He deserves a lot of credit. He's playing like a genuine superstar. There's no two ways about that.